right. All right, good morning, everyone. We are up bright and early, back with some more 5USC action on this Sunday morning. It is Indiana versus Florida, and it is who other than Liliana to join me on the cast this morning. How are we doing?
I'm here for my Hoosier State. But also, I'm here because I saw the ping and I was awake and I'm actually free. I haven't gotten to cast much of 5UC because I've been so dang busy, bless. It's been a lot these past few weeks, but I'm here. I'm here and I'm here for this matchup and it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, you know that one for sure. Indiana coming off of an extremely close match against New York last week, losing it barely all the way in tiebreaker. And meanwhile, Florida have been in a little bit of cruise control after going down to Kentucky in tiebreaker back in round of 16, taking their two losers quarterfinal matches quite comfortably against Wisconsin and Massachusetts. And here they are in the semifinals. Funny enough, last time these two teams faced was also in the losers bracket. It was not in semifinals, but it was in losers quarterfinals. The second round of that losers quarterfinals bracket, where they did go all the way to tiebreaker. Of course, format a little bit different back then. Best of 13 already from quarterfinals, and they did go 7-6. But here we are back with another best of 13 match between these two teams. And we'll see if we get another interesting one. Although I will say I am feeling quite good about Indiana's chances in this one, both with some alleged scheduling issues from the side of Florida, and also just a really strong performance against the best, probably the best team in the tournament, if not the second best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is a pretty strong lineup here for these two teams, and hopefully, I think the reasoning why we are getting this 1 p.m. matchup here is because, or well, you know, maybe even earlier for some people watching, but for these two states, it's 1 p.m. Is hopefully so that everybody is playing. And yeah, you mentioned this was like a Florida like really kind of needed this matchup to happen at this time because I would assume this is when they can have their full roster. So hopefully it will be a full 6v6 team rosters available for the 3v3. But we'll see here. It looks like we're getting into the pick ban order here. It's going to be second pick chosen from Florida there, from the captain Bona 8 Sandwich. And we'll see what Indiana wants to do, if they want to do first or second ban. Most likely going to be second ban.
Second ban would definitely be interesting, considering this is ABBA. They would have to show up. They reveal both of their bans before seeing Florida's second ban, or second and final ban. And they will opt for the first ban. As he does look a little bit confused after choosing first ban. I'm not sure.
No. Fesco hit the exclamation mark roll and got the 6-7.
Oh, okay. So we're acting 10 years younger than our actual age or so.
I am technically a Zoomer. I'm 29. Let that sink in.
Yeah. Actually, I think if I think even if some Zoomers were 10 years younger, they'd still be Zoomers. So, yeah, you're actually an example of that.
Exactly. Oh, wait.
Right.
Who's doing the stream announcement?
Oh, I guess we've missed out on that one.
I can do it. I got it.
All right. Thank you very much. And players a little bit confused on the ban order, probably from playing a little bit too much USC and not enough 5USC. Where's the band a little bit different up there upstairs.
Well,
maybe.
I think both these states got knocked out pretty early on in USC.
You know, we don't talk about that.
It's okay.
We don't talk about that. We just talk about the good things about.
It's okay. Listen, man. Listen, Florida has won USC. All right.
Okay, but they had digital hypno back.
They still won.
D ranker.
They still won.
D ranker doesn't matter in open rank, but still.
True. At stream pings.
Yeah.
Where do I have perms to do this? This is fantastic.
It is in stream announce.
Yeah, I am. I'm just like, why do I have these perms?
Oh, why do you have?
Yeah. We got the 1 p.m. match.
Anyway,
Ooh,
Indiana.
yeah.
With the first ban, a couple bans from Florida already. DT3 will be their choice as. Yeah, we've seen them just ban a lot of the high BPM tapping stuff, a little bit out of reach of some of their players. Bubble and JT struggling quite a bit with the higher BPM stuff, and then at that point you're sort of checking the skill cap of your support players like Fortise, and it's really up to Marvin Frags alone to try and put some work in on those maps. So making quite a bit of sense to ban that out. Florida, meanwhile, banning out the Hardrock 3 and the Nomad 5. Interesting. I mean, it does make sense to ban some of the Hardrock and Precision stuff against JT, but he is one man, and he does need 2 players to support him. I believe Unique had some interesting scores on Hyper Precision recently, and actually no, it was Bubble and Super Alf to support JT on the flex last week. And actually, we saw a lot of pretty low scores. I believe a triple 400k from Indiana, making number 3 on the stats on that map. So a difficult map that they managed to score well on, making a good bit of sense to ban that out in hindsight. The Hardrock 3, I'm a little bit less sure on, although this Hardrock 3 is quite difficult from what I've seen so far. Notably, SoCal B last night, one of the strongest teams in the entire tournament, just overall, despite being a minor league team. Down, I think they had like a triple. I think they had one 500k, and that was considered a standout score on the map. So maybe a little bit worried about their skill cap on the Hardrock compared to Indiana. Gonna be closing things out with a Flex 1. JT saying in chat, Vona 2 Pro at Flex 1. So just giving us the reason for the ban right there.
Goodness, I gotta pull up the pools. Yeah, no, these bans are pretty straightforward, I think. Do think that Flex 1 ban is most likely just because the map is like cruel, and I don't think Indiana really has a 3-man roster for that, or at the very least a 3-man roster that wants to play that. For the Nomad 5, the Hardrock 3, I mean, Nomad 5, you know, just because it is the higher CS, not necessarily because of one specific player on Indiana, but actually probably more so just not wanting to risk the gamble. You mentioned JT Cantwell, but also is Super Alf is quite good on precision too. Can just like pull out the combo when needed. Easy One gonna be the pick here from Indiana on the Cerno's perfect Sansu Kyoshitsu. A little perfect freeze. I've got some lore on this one here in a sec, but yeah, the other bands coming through, I mean, they're really just some of them are respect bands, but like that Flex 1 ban, but also I think for the most part it's just like our team really doesn't want to play these maps kind of bands. Here's some lore for you, Bloods, and I have a video that I can send to you, but 2020 Unique 2020 dropped a stinker of a score at AR negative 2,110 on this map, and I think got an FC on it.
Negative AR negative 2,110.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
What the hell are we playing?
Yeah.
All right, well, I think I know one person who's going to be in the roster for Indiana, and I think I see the other two.
All right, let me wait. Do you think I get restricted? No, I don't get timed out if I post this. And yeah,
I think
there you guys go.
In the chat.
Just so you guys can like understand what the heck I'm talking about. Basically every single note is on the screen from start to finish, all the notes. So that is AR negative 2000. Regardless though, we're not playing AR negative 2000, we're playing easy. It's AR 4.5. So it makes it a lot easier. You actually do get to read a little bit. It's less memorization, more reading. So we've got Unique, we've got Bubble, we've got Alv on the side of Indiana, Fesco, Vona, and 09 Randy Orton. Is that a name change?
Equivocator. It is
okay.
Equivocator. You actually had that name last year as well when you played for B Team.
All right, well there you go.
Yep. All right. Well, interestingly enough, this is an Indiana first pick, probably relying off the back of Unique and saying, hey, Florida's supporting scores are not going to be as good as Vona's individual score. We do see some earthquakes coming in already as signs of that. And there goes Fesco, and there goes Randy Orton as well. Gonna be traded out by Super Alf and Bubble at about the same time on each. So now just down to Unique and Vona. Really expecting Unique to be able to play this one very well and proficiently after showing that score all the way back in 2020 on AR negative whatever 2112. I don't even remember the exact number anymore.
It's basically negative infinity, but it caps. Yeah. So but yeah, no, the map is already a third of the way into the end. Like there's not much time left here. The misses are still coming through, and that's Vona dropping the final remaining FC for Florida. Now Unique, the only combo still on that FC, but good support from Bubble. Fesco is matching though, and that's the miss from Unique, so that is going to keep things very close here. It's 16,000 points, and it is moving back the way of Florida. Just a little bit better recovery combo here on Fesco, so this could be a disaster for Indiana on their first pick, actually, as that score is now 4,000 points, 2,000, 1,000, and it switches. Fesco finds the break, but Bubble trades it. It's 3,000 points. It's on a nice edge here. Randy Orton going to be dropping the combo, and Bubble's still going to be trading, but Alvis on the recovery. Vona is matching, but Unique has a little bit extra score, and it's 40,000 points when all is said and done.
Yeah, a lot of chain misses coming into the end there, dropping a lot of score, and that is a lot on easy.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, that is almost 100,000 when you convert it to no mod. Of course, the easy multiplier, cutting all the numbers on our screen in half, basically. But you saw some really bad chain misses at the ending on it from Equivocator. Just missing on the flow aim. Not something you really expect to happen on easy of all mods.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just given how those some of those patterns go, there are some overlap patterns where if you like misread it, you like tap once and then you're just like, oh wait, no, it's a stream. And then you try to go into the stream and you're just like chaining and it's bad. But yeah, no, I mean, that was we say that it wasn't, you know, it was a big score gap, but like realistically 100,000 is still pretty close, especially considering that it was like on a knife's edge. It was like it was 1,000 flipping back and forth all the way up until the very end of the map. So
it was incredibly close the entire way.
Yeah, but hey, still going to be point going to wave Indiana. We've got a long match on our hands here. I feel like should be going back and forth, and we're gonna go into Florida's first pick on that no mod 4.
Yeah, so for the first time having some real tech. This map is by Halgo, in collaboration with some of his Osu beat mapping World Championships. I believe it was, not World Cup, World Championships. I believe is the correct name of the mapping contest. And yeah, it does definitely have some of those classic Halgo slider elements, but there's definitely some sections where you can see that it was definitely not mapped by Halgo and mapped by some of his fellow countrymen. So you'll see some burst shapes and some sliders that look a little bit too cleanly organized every now and then on this map, but it's definitely very much so proper tech compared to some of the much more mech tech leaning maps that we've had in this slot so far.
Unfortunately, I am not familiar with this map. I ended up getting the replay for the Nomad 4 for this week, but I mentioned and other people vouched for it, and that Nomad 4 was like way too hard, and so like quite literally last minute swap in for this one. So this is going to be the first time that I'm seeing it, but yeah, I do imagine it's going to be slider tech because the previous map was supposed to be like heavy slider tech. Actually, I think.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna say anything. They might want to use it at another point, but yeah, sliders. Sliders is the name of the game here.
I would eventually like to know what that map is if it doesn't get used, but very much so looking forward to seeing it in either the finals or Grands pool.
Yeah.
We love
no, I don't think it's getting used in any future pool. The difficulty of it was around this range, but it was much harder than any of the rest of the maps in the pool.
Ah, I see. So just too much of a sore thumb.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Relative comparison. All right,
well, here we go. Map number 2.
It's gonna be JT Bubble and Super Alv. JT and Other Bubble and Super Alv again, and then of course JT coming in for the tech. He is quite good at it. Well, I don't think it's too well known that he's good at this kind of slider tech stuff. On the other side of course, Vonate Sandwich, FireGen, and Randy Orton Equivocator. FireGen and Equivocator are both showing some really good tech scores historically, and of course Vona really good tech scores in 5WC on the biggest stage of all stages, a 5-digit. So gonna be keeping a close eye on them for some good performances. It's already FireGen with an early break. Gonna be traded out by Super Alva, a little bit delayed, and there goes JT as well. So just Other Bubble in 1v2 on the FCs against Vona and Equivocator. Here we do see a lot of that slider tech that I was talking about, some of the aim control elements and some of the funky shaped sliders. There goes Randy Orton as well, however, so as we approach a little bit of a slower section in the song, it is Vona versus Other Bubble in 1v1, and the score lead is still incredibly close.
Definitely very close for these two sides. Again, it's just on a knife's edge. The trades coming through around the exact same times. Right now, though, it's a slight combo advantage for Indiana, but that could change here in this second half of the map, where players could potentially find a couple more breaks on some of these sliders. That's Vona going to be dropping the combo around the 2/3 mark of the map. That's going to cap out the score pretty heavily, unfortunately, for them. And that was their FC remaining for Florida. So now you just have the recovery combos. Make that combo from FireGen as Randy Orton drops theirs, and no trades are happening on Indiana. Bubble still on that FC. Alv JT Cantwell on the 500 combo recoveries, and this is just looking like a break point for Indiana.
Yeah, the score lead is far too gone. Florida having a little bit of a team-wide collapse in the back half of this map, and the recovery is coming in strong. Bubble holding on for quite a long while as well. And there's JT to close things out for the team. 600 combo and 600k score as well, with 500k differences. Going to be quite a reversal of what some teams might have been expecting based off of the stats of last week. Notably, for Florida, missing Porafor for this pick, who did FC the Nomad 4 last week with 98 and got another FC choke with 98. So 2 900k scores on one of their players who was not in for this map this week. I'm not sure if they're missing or they are just not comfortable with the slider shapes because they are a bit of a newer tournament player. They did spawn in this year, and you know, Halgo Tech is one of the less accessible types of tech maps, to be fair. So it could be that, but it could just be missing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Either way, it's not the end of the world for Florida. You know, a single break point at the very beginning of a match is very easy to come back from, especially when the match is best of 13 here. You know, first to 7, you've got a lot of time to work with, but for now, we're going to be dipping our toes into that hidden pool. We're going to go into the hidden 3. We liked what we saw on that Nomad 4, and we're going to try to double down with the hidden now.
Yep, winning on the easy. The hidden 2 is still up, but still shying away from that one. Instead, going for the hidden 3, a unique map, and a bubble map and also potentially a JT map. So I think
Definitely a JT.
I think this is just a really good pick. You just get all 3 of your strongest players in the lobby. No disrespect to Super Alv, but you know, JT bubble unique. That is, if you can have any 3 members in the lobby at the same time, you're probably going for those 3.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, you know, with it being a hidden mod, of course, Vona, you do expect them to be in here for Florida. You've got Randy Orton and Fesco already in the lobby. Just a few players stepped out of the lobby to go do a little bit of practice. Bubble looking to be holding down the spot there for Indiana, probably keeping track of the timer. There comes Vona. You have to expect them to be in here. And by no means is this like the safest pick either, because hey, Florida picked that No Mod 4. They definitely are comfortable on some of the more tech style maps. And so I do think that this one actually could very easily be contested by Florida, especially with the hidden mod. You know, these players can play hidden quite well. They are actually one of the stronger hidden teams in the tournament. So I do have some fears here for Indiana on this pick, even though they won that No Mod 4 on the breakpoint. I think rapid firing this might not have been completely thought through yet.
Yeah, I mean, it is still quite a strong pick in theory for them, and I think a part of the thought process is that Florida aren't putting in Fesco or Pora 4, excuse me, for the No Mod 4. There's a good chance he's just not here, and maybe, of course, they did a little bit of a exclamation mark where Pora 4 and towards Banjo Bot might have seen that if he's online or not. And that would certainly influence their decision to pick this, but of course this map pretty high in skill cap, and if it's anything Vona has, it is extreme skill cap on the hidden, especially hidden tech, not just the reading, not just the hidden reading, but also the hidden tech. So many strong scores in 5WC, some incredible FCs as well on tech as well, not just the hidden, and very dangerous, a lot of score potential for him when the skill cap of this map is so high. It's definitely a map that he can sort of just take over the lobby on. And speaking of players who could take over the lobby, there goes Unique, the first combo down. JT and Other Bubble still holding as it was trade up by Fesco, and it's gonna be Vona and Equivocator to match for now as we go through this first little KI section.
Yeah, notably at the very intro of the map, I think Fesco and Randy Orton dropped like a bunch of 50s. I'm not really sure what happened, but they haven't really recovered either of their accuracies yet. They're both sitting about 90% accuracy, and so that is where the majority of the score is actually coming from for Indiana. You know, despite Randy Orton being on that recovery. And what is Vona? Vona, not again!
What are you missing?
Vona. We gotta lock in, okay? We gotta lock in. That it's going to be the mids coming through from the final FC for Florida. Now, I do believe that has already secured the point for Indiana. That's so tragic. That's the 3rd time I think Vona has had the combo up to like the final third of the map and then just misses.
Yeah, and I mean, surely it's Bubble at 1,000 combo going to be slider breaking right as he reaches that number, and so it is Fesco on the other side, but he will trade out shortly. And yeah, with no combos left on the board, Leona, this map is a good closed and shut case. Indiana gonna be going up 3-0, and what an unfortunate miss that was from Vona. Just a single slider break right in. What even was that?
It was the reverse slider. I couldn't tell you. I genuinely could not tell you, but that is tragic for Florida, because I do actually think Vona could have and probably should have just been able to get that point for Florida.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't miss in the ending.
Very unfortunate.
He didn't miss in the ending. Like, that is most definitely, there's most definitely an alternate timeline right now where Vona just FCs the rest of the map, and we're looking at a point for Florida on the board. That is 460k individual score. He can more than make up for the 250,000 or so score gap that there was at the end. And that is nothing other than tragic for Florida, going down 0-3 early on. Of course, they do still have their pick to go. Can make it 1-3 should they secure their own pick instead of giving up a break point this time. But they're gonna have to figure out where to go, as Easy losing on the reading, losing on 2 tech maps so far. Do Florida pivot into sort of a high BPM mechanics team, and do they just have to sort of rely on some of their players outside Vona, like Mikey M, like FireGen, like Equivocator? Thinking maybe that might be where they have to go with this one.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm wondering if they are going to go back into the hidden pool. Actually, I do think that wouldn't be a bad decision necessarily on something like the hidden 2. But we are actually going to see them switch it up here. It's going to be DT2. We're going to go into some finger control, as you mentioned, to try to switch things up. Try, because like the reading just hasn't quite worked for them. The gimmick in terms of tech hasn't worked either. So now we are moving towards your standard DT2 on 215 BPM. It's going to be Desire Blue Sky. It's AR 9.7 notably. So, the requirement for reading is actually quite low.
Yeah, I mean, you say standard. The burst shapes, I don't know if you've you've looked at this map in playtesting, Liliana, but
me, the double time playtester.
There are some funky burst shapes in this map, and this is not what you think it is. I think this is not stamina. This is finger control. We got some triples, quads, and quints all mixed in there for you, even with a little bit of doubles action. And it's pretty funky. There is actually one burst in the back half of the map, I believe it was, where it basically cuts back on itself before continuing on the same trajectory. And then, of course, who is to forget the wiggle at the very last pattern of the map? Of course, some other strange cuts and control elements throughout. We do see in the lobby for India, it's going to be JT, Bubble, and Marvin Frags. I mean, JT and Bubble should be pretty fine playing this one. The BPM is well within their comfort zone. It's also not too straining on the tapping either. This is really just finger control. There's not really strain in this map per se. Just a couple long bursts that go to like 11, 12, maybe 13 notes, but of course, they're more than capable of playing that. On the other side, of course, it's going to be Vona accompanied by FireGen and Fesco. Interesting to see no Mikey M in here. He is pretty good at the tapping, but maybe just some of the finger control being a little bit too gimmicky for him and favoring the reading players of Fesco and Vona. I do know Vona has struggled with tapping in the past, but maybe the finger control a little bit more accessible for him. We'll see how that goes in just a moment, though.
Definitely at a BPM like this as well. 215 is still on the faster side, especially when you mix in a lot of finger control. But it's a lot more doable, especially for players that do tend to get capped out on like the speedier things. When it's like this, you can definitely pull out combo when you need to, but accuracy is key here. I feel like, as well as it's actually pretty even on accuracy. All the players that dropped on one side, on the other side, you've got players that are about at the same accuracy for them. So already a quarter of the way through the map. It doesn't quite feel like a shorter one, but it is a shorter one as we get into more of the proper finger control. Jake Cantwell going to be finding the first break.
Yes, get quickly traded out by Fesco. And you mentioned the accuracies. Looking at the middle of our screen, Marvin Frags versus FireGen, but there goes Marvin Frags, miss-aiming the burst. And yeah, we say this is finger control, but you do still have to control your aim on some of these stranger shapes. Some of the wiggles catching Marvin Frags off again. Now it is the two FCs, FireGen and Vona, to the single FC of Other Bubble. And as I say that, Vona going to be dropping the combo as well. But he has already secured a small advantage for his team, just under 100,000 as he had held out.
I mean, so far, it's actually going to be pretty even. A slight combo advantage for Indiana, so that score is slowly dwindling for Florida. We're past the halfway mark now, so we do need to have the players lock in on their combos, or else that will get capped out pretty significantly. Still, though, third of the map remaining. It's 39,000 points in favor of Florida, but we're going to need to see more misses come through from Indiana here if Florida wants to win on their own pick.
And you talk about misses, I'm expecting a lot of players to explode in this back section. We've seen so many low scores throughout the weekend, and a lot of missiles have come in this back half as it just really gets a lot more intense. Some of the cuts right there, you just saw one, going to be catching Bubble out on the one right after, and that's a big combo from Indiana down. Score lead skyrocketing into Florida's favor despite, and there's a full team-wide reset from Indiana. Everyone going down. FireGen holding on for a little bit longer than the rest, but he will fall as well, but he has done more than enough work at this point. More than 150k, heading towards 200k is the score lead as we go into the ending. There is one last wiggle pattern right at the end, but there should be more than enough score buffer to accommodate for any chain misses, and yeah, there goes 200k. Last burst, funny wiggle burst, funny pattern. Fesco does manage to hit it, and so does FireGen, but yeah, that is finally a point on the board for Florida.
Definitely on the board, and a much needed one as well. You can't really afford to give that many more breakpoints over. Like, you could have given this breakpoint and you still would have had a decent chance at bringing it back, but you needed to put a stop to the snowball that Indiana was rolling. And so this is a good start for Florida. They are able to find that point off the back of the big combo coming through from FireGen, able to get 860,000 points. Good supporting scores from Vona and Fesco. So really solid work from Florida to recognize that they needed to switch things up. And you know, yes, it was their second pick. They could have again tried to push the agenda of like lower AR if they wanted to go into the hidden 2 or you know, some more like straightforward gimmick. But they were like, no, we need to do something different. Looked at the pool, saw that DT2 was potential for them, and they locked it in, and they locked in. So that is going to be a first point on the board now. It is going to go back to Indiana for the time being, blessed. So it's still not over for Florida. They do have to keep their game up, keep things pushing for them. But they're going to need that breakpoint back at some point. So
yeah.
Could it happen on this pick? Potentially. I do know a secret pocket pick from Indiana. I'm just not sure when it's going to come out, and I'm very excited if we do get to see it here.
All right, well, we're looking forward to that. And you do mention breakpoint advantage for Indiana, but it is only one breakpoint advantage. Can dissipate in an instant, as there is a No Mod 3 pick. This team has been very strong on No Mod 3, having not just the other Bubble, who has so much pop-off potential on this map, but also Super Alf. He was the one to pop off on the other No Mod swing map a couple weeks back. I believe that was in the round of 16. And yeah, gonna be. I do think this is a pretty good pick. They did just see Florida's score on swing mechanics last week. Some aim-heavy swing in the Hard Rock 3, a triple 500k from them. And thinking they can beat that on No Mod. Of course, this map is a little similar to that one. It does have the trademark No Mod 3 funny pattern in the solo section that the poolers seem to enjoy these past couple rounds. But other than that, quite aim-heavy. A little bit different flavor of aim than the Hard Rock 3, but still aim-heavy on the swing alt.
That's kind of mean. At least for me, I kind of suck at swing. But it's like, all things considered, it's actually kind of a chill map.
It is.
But yeah, a lot of swing happening. A lot of like the 1-2 swing too. Not a whole lot of just proper full alt. But still you've got some snaps happening. You do need to get need to keep your aim control high, as well as you know, just the general swing control on that. Get boy. Okay, what? Listen, I'm from Indiana. I don't understand this meme. I see people be typing that. Do you get this? What is happening here? Get Woey in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what that meme is either, unfortunately. Sorry to say.
Because Woey's never lived in Indiana. He lived in Illinois. So if we're gonna get things real here, Illinois should be saying get Woey in.
Yeah, I mean, that did that comment did come from a Florida member. It was Equivocator saying that in the chat. So don't know what's going on over there. But I do know what's going on here. We are getting to the map, and unless it is just a false start, looks like Other Bubble having some tech issues at the moment. Probably typing out for an abort as we speak. But
yeah, we should give you that abort.
Yeah. And
there we go.
it is.
Wonderful.
The two players accompanying him, of course, going to be Super Alf and JT. Who else but JT? Looking at Florida on the other side. Gonna be Vona, Equivocator, and FireGen. No real questions about this roster, just some funky mechanics. So who else but Vona and friends? Not sure what exactly went wrong with Bubble's setup. But as we wait and see and get back into the map, 200 BPM does mean we can cut that in 3/4 and see that's about 150 BPM snap aim, what we're going to be looking at. So,
is that how that works? I thought it would be 1/3. No.
Well, that's the funny thing. It's 1/3, but when you have 1/3, it's also like half of 1/6, and you fit 4 1/6.
Osu's ruined.
Yeah.
Osu's ruined my music theory. I used to get so pissed off looking at Osu and being like, no, that's not a 1/3. It's like,
yeah, it's a triplet.
That's not a 1/6.
It's a triplet. It's a sextuplet. Let's use property.
An eighth note. That's
an eighth. Yes.
1/4.
It's a quaver for our Brits out there.
Anyway, we've got the map here. You can see it's swing. It's got some snaps on the swing patterns. So far, nobody's found any mistakes. So look into the KI sections for those difficult spikes.
Yeah. But just to clarify things on that last discussion, going from 4 to 6, that is you multiply 4 by 1.5 to get 6. So you multiply the BPM, you get 300, and of course half of 1/6 is 1/3. Half of 300, 150, so there you go. And we somehow got out scot-free from doing math on stream for the umpteenth time. I don't know how many times I've taken that risk. But these players are holding on quite well, quite nicely throughout the early parts of this map. We have seen some fairly low scores so far this weekend. Not a lot of scores over the 600k mark. Lots of 500ks and below. We'll have to wait and see if any of these players can overcome that barrier. Going to be looking at Other Bubble, Super Alf, and Vona to do so, although Equivocator, really strong aim player, as is FireGen, so you can see some pop-offs from them as well. So far, they are just holding a little bit of an accuracy advantage. Super Alf down at 94, as is JT, so that is what is making up this small 40k score lead for Florida. But here we go into the first KI in just a second. And I say first KI, we're already halfway through the map, Layla.
Yeah, no, but it is, and that is going to be the first break as well. It's going to come through on the side of Indiana for Super Alf here, so that is going to help extend the score lead for Florida now. This is Indiana's pick as well, and I was mentioning Florida needs to get that break point back at some point along the way, and nobody is dropping combo here outside of Super Alf, so that is actually going to start pushing that score lead for Florida. It's 120,000 points. It's going to continue to climb as the map gets further along. There's only a third of the map remaining, Bless.
Yeah, and can I just point out what a ridiculous team score this is? We are finally getting into the bridge with some 1-2 normal straight rhythm coming up, as well as the pattern. We all know what the pattern is. But how are the three? No. That is the pattern.
Oh, that's the pattern.
So we see a big double wipe from Florida. Randy Orton and both Vona going down. It's going to be traded out by Bubble and Super Alpha, so JT and FireGen in a 1v1, but there's already a 200,000 score lead made up for Florida here. I don't know if Indiana can pull this back. FireGen needs to break soon if JT wants to make this happen. But this is looking more and more like a break point for Florida already.
Yeah, in order for Indiana to get this, you would need the miss from FireGen, but also, no, it's not going to happen. JT needed to hold on to the combo, did find the break. FireGen finally ends up falling, but I was going to say, even if FireGen missed and JT FC'd the rest of the map, JT's accuracy is 94%. That's max, I think, like 800,000?
800k, I think.
Yeah. like, I don't think that would have been enough, unfortunately. And the score was moving with the recovery from Alv, but too little, too late. Not enough time left in the map, nowhere near enough notes left in the map, and that is going to be a breakpoint answered back from Florida, who are now looking to try to consolidate on it to maybe get things tied up once more.
Yeah, and like, what a ridiculous team score this is. What a ridiculous team score from both sides, really. JT almost at 700k, FireGen above 700k, and then two incredible supporting scores, 550k each from Vona and Equivocator. We've seen so many weak scores throughout the weekend on this map, but these are most definitely not weak. But the pick will go back to Florida, tripping up on the Nomad 4, but finding some success on the Nomad 3 instead. So that does give them some more options. Yes, it was pretty aim heavy, but still somewhat control adjacent, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised at all to just see them continue picking into the tapping. Of course, only one tapping map banned out, the DT, that being the DT3. Looking at Force Mod 1, No Mod 2, and what else was there for tapping in this pool? I think that's it.
Well,
yeah, the DT3, DT2.
That answers the question.
But
no
yeah,
mod
there's
2.
the Mod 2.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not call this tapping. I would call this low BPM flow.
We'll call this flow control.
Because it is 185 BPM, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's really not much happening here. You've got some streams that get just the tiniest amount of space, some XL decel on them. I think the hardest part for me when going for the replay was there's some streams that end on like an even note, which is like kind of awkward because you have to tap an extra time than like your brain thinks you should. So you could potentially find some breaks on some of those, but I think for the most part the misses will come through on the end around 800 combo or so. 800, 900 is where the spacing does pick up quite a bit on the ends of some of the stream patterns, so it does make it a little bit more difficult to hold on to the combo there. But yeah, this is just flow. Like, just straight up, there's really no tapping element.
Yeah, and it's not just the spacing, I will say. There's these bumps, quote unquote, in the streams where you sort of have to snap to the beginning of the next part of the stream. It's almost like a mini cut stream, but it's not quite cut. It's just a little bit of a... how do you describe it? Almost like a little bit of a tumor in the stream itself, as you kind of have to snap midstream. Yeah, the only real way to describe it would be like a mini cut in the stream. Claiming a lot of lives, a lot of combos throughout the weekend so far, including some really strong No Mod 2 players like the homie down on Florida's B team. In fact, he did struggle quite a bit on this map when he played it, unfortunately so. Big No Mod 2 enthusiast. But we do have the players in the lobby all ready to go. It's going to be Vona 8 Sandwich, accompanied by Mikey M, tapping player, and FireGen. And for Indiana, of course, it's going to be JT Bubble plus their tapping specialist in Marvin Frags. It's going to be an early break for JT, just having some trouble settling into the map, but should be fine to go.
Just a couple early mistakes, not going to matter too much. You've got the little slowdown 1/3 section here. It does go right back into a normal 1/4 stream directly after those sliders, and you can see how the spacing does pick up just a little bit there on some of those streams, but nobody going to be tripped up just yet on any of those. Mikey M, though, going to be finding the first break on Florida. That's a big chain miss from Marvin Frags, and so now with that very early miss from JT Cantwell and more misses coming through from Marvin Frags, it is actually somehow on a nice edge here. Mikey M dropping a lot of accuracy. I think that's why it's not fully swinging the direction of Florida.
Yeah, all the way down at 91%. That is really low. Bubble going to be matching FireGen at high 98, but there goes Bubble. A big combo down for Indiana, and now FireGen and Vona have a little bit of free reign to push their advantage. JT, the only resistance on what is technically a reverse choke, is Marvin Frags continuing to struggle here on this map. And score lead will push, but in the favor of Florida, but we are slowly approaching that 800 combo mark that you mentioned. We are getting into the bigger spacing and some of the funkier slider shapes here, getting a little bit of preview, and there's the first one, the weird bumps, where you do have to do a little bit of aim control, a little bit of cutting to the start of the next node and stream, and there goes Vona on a big chain miss right at the end there. 5USC still holding on, though. This lead is already 300,000, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, this is breakpoint consolidated here for Florida. Off the back of FireGen, and good support from Vona coming through here. I think third player for both teams. I mean, this is like really surprising to see both Mikey M and Marvin Frags just not having a good time at it on this map, because both of them can play this style of map quite well. FireGen unfortunately not able to close out the full combo. That final stream, I think, ruined at least 8 of my runs on the map for the replay. So, like, you know, it's mean. It is very mean to put that amount of spacing at the very end of the map with the flow of the map. But that's going to be a very easy point for Florida in order to consolidate. We're tied up now. It is essentially a best of 7, first to 4 here. Between these two teams is 3-3 each, and it goes back to the direction of Indiana for the next pick.
Yep, best of 7 you can see on our little overlay here. 3 picks left. I don't think there's too much difficulty in terms of a pick strategy yet. However, I think Indiana does still have some nice maps. There's the Hidden 2 for some more hidden. For control picks, the DT4 is still available. And then, I mean, if they do want to continue going down the hidden, there is the Hidden 1. And also for Florida, there is, of course, some more tapping left in the pool in the Force Mod 1, the last tapping map. And there's also the DT1, I will say. I think that is a good pick for them, considering Indiana banning out the DT3. I think both Bubble and JT will be a little bit BPM capped on that one. On the DT1, it's not just the tapping, it is some of the aim elements as well. And of course, other aim maps still left in the pool, the Hard Rock 1, the Nomad 1, Nomad 5 banned out, and we have picked a lot of the Nomads. So Nomad 1, actually the only Nomad left in the pool. It's going to be a Hidden 2 from Indiana to start things off here.
Yeah, gonna be some aim on this one.
It is a Jackie map, so...
Yeah. Oh, no, wait. No, this is the overlaps. This is the overlaps. I remember this map now.
Some overlaps and some cut reading, some rhythm reading on the fade-ins.
It's actually a really fun map. Even if, like, you don't play AR8 Hidden, give it a try. It's genuinely just a cool little map.
I know some people have very vehement opinions towards Jackie maps, so...
This is
you might like it, you might hate it.
Isn't it?
It is not a custom, I think.
Oh.
At least not for 5USC. It was a custom for another tournament, I'm pretty sure.
I see.
Yeah. But,
well, either way, yeah, a lot of overlaps on the reading patterns. You've got these back and forths that happen pretty much all throughout the map. Into the key eyes, it's the snaps into some longer curved sliders. So there is a little bit of difficulty there. You do have to make sure that you are snapping to the start of the sliders, else you will just be slider breaking. So yeah, you know, some aim control here mixed in with the reading. And so it should be interesting. Normally I would say, you know, oh yeah, like Indiana, they've got Unique, they've got Bubble, they've got Alv, like this is just an Indiana map, but it's hard to say. You're staring down the eyes of Vona 8 Sandwich and FireGen Fesco in the lobby, and I don't know, man. It's potential for another breakpoint here, Bless.
Yeah, that is for sure, and maybe a little bit of underrating of Fesco. I do hear he is quite the easy player. Of course, that doesn't always translate to good Hidden 2 abilities, but definitely a little bit of a player to watch out for on Florida. Of course, Indiana does have a really strong 3-man hidden roster. All these, especially, you know, you have a really strong duo in Unique and Bubble, probably going to be matched matched by Vona and Fesco, or look to be matched by, and then sort of the quote-unquote fill players being FireGen and Super Alpha, some all-rounders who can play the hidden two on the side. But yeah, we are getting into things here. This is basically what the map is going to be looking like for throughout a lot of it. Some more aim control elements mixed in, as you were alluding to earlier, as the map progresses, but yeah, overlap reading. And here we go into the first KI section. You can already see some of the snaps and back and forths at work. All the players holding on so far, and it's just the accuracy giving an ever so slight edge to Indiana at the moment.
Just a very, very small margin here for these teams. Now it's going to be extending a little bit. Fesco going to be finding the break there towards the end of that first KI. Super Alpha will trade as we make it out of that section. Bubble, I don't know what happened there. I think Bubble over-tapped the stacks, unfortunately, and so that is actually going to be a significant score advantage towards the way of Florida. Indiana holding on to the score lead for now, but it's going to switch pretty quickly.
Yeah, that is the second time we've seen someone just randomly break combo on the slow stack section. Happened in one of the matches yesterday as well. And that does give a combo advantage to Florida, although the score is not quite flipping to... Okay, there it goes now. FireGen and Vona pulling things over. Of course, Unique to hold down the fort on the other side, still holding a 99.3 accuracy. Really incredible, as even Vona has fallen down to the 97.5 range, but the combos are what are doing the work. FireGen finally going down on one of the snaps back and forth. Fesco was matching the other Bubble's recovery, but not anymore, and now is just down to the 1v1 between Vona and Unique. The score lead has not gone very far either. Still very comebackable as Fesco continues to miss. Will eventually be traded out by Super Alpha, but Bubble on a very nice recovery, going to be pulling things back in the favor of Indiana, as Fesco continuing to struggle here. More misses. Bubble will go down, so the score lead going to sit around even for now, if only ever so slightly in the favor of Florida with FireGen's recovery, but there he goes as well. And Unique versus the Vona is the 1v1 that is happening into the ending of the map.
I mean, it's on a nice edge. So a couple more misses coming through from Fesco. Bubble trades here. It's in favor of Indiana for the time being. We're coming into the very end of the map here. There's a bit of a cooldown area in the end of the map. So if they're able to hold on to the combos going in, Bubble missing. But I think Indiana's done enough to secure the point here. Potentially, there's still just a little bit more patterns that could trip up the players here that are on those combos. But both Vona and Unique are locked in. FireGen, Fesco going to be dropping combos, and I think that will secure the point here for Indiana.
Yeah, 50k should be just enough, and the Bubbles. The misses for Bubble at the end, not going to matter, as Vona closing out an FC, but matched by Unique and even surpassed on the accuracy. Of course, it was the supporting players that did end up making the differences when you see it. But
I'm looking.
Fesco.
I don't see it.
Fesco.
Oh, I see it.
But yeah, supporting players making quite the difference in this one. FireGen a little bit more comfortable than that of Bubble and Alv, but the combined power of Bubble and Alv, and Fesco falling quite a bit behind despite putting up a very fun number for the rest of us to see. Does mean that Indiana will be securing that point for themselves. So Indiana continuing to prove themselves as this sort of gimmick team in the matchup, winning the easy 1, winning the hidden 3, winning the No Mod 4 as well, and now winning the hidden 2. The No Mod 3, I think a little bit too aim heavy to be chalked up as a gimmick / control map, and I guess the No Mod 2, a map that could go either way in theory, you know, with some of the stranger stream shapes. Definitely a bit more on the mechanics side. So we'll have to wait and see what Florida decide to pick. I am still keeping my eyes on a Force Mod 1 or DT1 pick at some point in the match. Actually, I would like to see both of those picked. Of course, Florida does have 3 picks left, or up to 3 picks left in the match for them.
I have Force Mod 1. There you go. I have There's two more potential picks here for Indiana. I do know of one of them should be. If they don't pick it, I'm gonna scream at them because there's some silly shenanigans that could be happening. So we will see. I don't know though. We got tapping, and I would hope.
Yep.
That these players, have the rosters to field a 3-man roster that, you're not going to be seeing, what did I get, like 700 something K FC with Hard Rock? So, I would hope these players are a little bit more skilled on the tapping side of things for that. But I actually do think that this map is easier on Hard Rock than it is Hidden. And that might sound crazy, but I feel like for Hidden, it's a lot easier to just miss because you fall behind on the stream aim. Whereas for Hard Rock, it's just harder to hack it. But you can combo the map.
And I will say, I did end up banning this, but I did practice it on Hard Rock. The 225 BPM, if you're not comfortable just shredding that, then the spacing does get a little bit larger on some of the longer streams. There's like 2 or 3 streams that do go all the way to 25 notes, and you can sort of fall behind on that one. But you mentioned some 700k FC potential. Looking at the scores on the DT2 from last week in Gaozofun, the comparable map, not looking so hot. 90 AC on Mikey M, 82 AC on Vona. But for Indiana, not looking too much better for Where either. 82 AC on Other Bubble, 90 on Marvin Frags, and 87 on Fortise. And yeah, even Fortise stepping out on this one for JT Cantwell. We'll have to see how these players do, but yeah. It's looking like we're gonna get down and dirty, maybe a little scrappy on this tapping strain this week. Now, I will say, compared to last week's Skin Gaozofun, I do think the DT2 was one of the potentially harder maps of the pool. We didn't see a lot of high accuracies. In fact, the highest accuracy being a high 97. Usually you see something a little bit better on simple tapping strain maps like that one. This one, the Force Mod one, definitely a bit on the easier side of this pool. Now, still probably going to be a bit more difficult than Gen Gaozofun, but relatively speaking compared to the rest of the pool, it is on the easier side.
Is this easy? This is 4 minutes of like stamina, higher BPM stream bursts. Like,
okay,
there's downtime, but like I would not call this easy.
I mean, the bursts are not that long for the most part. It's just mostly some 9 notes. Nothing you won't see in your standard high BPM mechanics maps. If you just play some standard high BPM hybrid, whatever in no mod or whatever your mod of choice is. And like you've already seen about a quarter of the map, where this is a lot of what we're going to be seeing for the rest of it. It is not too intense until we get to a couple of those longer streams. Yes, going into break section, Bancho is going to be showing us a few issues, but just checking in on the accuracies real quick. Equivocator 1% ahead of his counterpart on the Hard Rock, JT Cantwell, by sitting at 96 as opposed to his 95. And the hidden players, Fesco missing now. Bancho, please.
It's the Fesco show.
We're gonna be waiting here for a little bit as we wait for him to catch up, but.
I don't know if those were real misses on the side of Indiana or not, just because of Bancho. So we'll see here.
I really don't think they are. But there goes some real misses from Fesco, I think. One of the longer bursts looking to catch him out as here we go into the big stream, the big 25-noter. Not going to catch anyone, and it does look like as some time passes, those were real breaks from JT and Marvin Frags, yeah. So combo advantage to Florida at the moment. Equivocator and Vona both holding down the fort up against the solo score of Other Bubble. A couple more longer patterns coming in here. Going to be catching JT on his recovery as well. And here we go into the back half of the map. Some more combo to farm for Equivocator and Vona as they look to extend their lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is This is already starting to get a little out of hand here for Indiana. Of course, this was a Florida pick, but yeah, like there's half the map remaining. But when you're at 200,000 points here, and the combos are as low as they are on the side of Indiana, 200,000 points is quite a healthy buffer for Florida to feel pretty confident about securing this point already. More misses coming through from Marvin on that hidden, and that's the thing with the force mod rather than free mod. Everybody has to take a mod. You have to have people on the mod. So whether or not you're choosing hidden or hard rock, it comes down to preference. But sometimes you just rather be on that no mod.
Yeah, I definitely didn't typecast Marvin Frags to be the type of person to take hidden here. I would have thought he would favor having the approach circles on the hard rock, but guess I don't know enough about him. The mod's on the outside for Florida, looking a little bit better for where Fesco being able to tap alongside already being a reading player, having just played the hidden 2 earlier as well. So looking pretty good for himself there. And we did see Equivocator break in that last section, down on his recovery. And speaking of recoveries, JT Cantwell finally coming into the ending with this one. So should Fona break soon, it is potentially doable. Would have to be basically right now on this big 25 noter, and he will not break. And I think with that 300,000 score lead being sitting where it is for Florida, I don't think there's enough. And yeah, some big chain misses coming out between Fesco and Marvin Frags. There goes the other bubble on his combo as well, and that should be just about it for Florida here.
Yeah, that's gonna lock in the point for Florida. We are back to normality here, 4-4 now, and it is going to be Indiana's next pick. And I do believe guaranteed now 2 picks each for both sides? Question mark?
2 picks guaranteed for Indiana. Florida having the
2 for
second
guaranteed.
pick.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
My bad. Yep.
Florida having, yeah, their second pick, so they do. I mean, if they weren't to get their second pick here, it would be because one team or the other just won out all 3 remaining picks.
Right. Yeah, that's the mental math, and it's been many years since I've taken math classes. My brain, unfortunately, you know, they teach you in school, they're like, use it or lose it, and you're like, yeah, right. No, that's real. That's absolutely real. Keep doing complex equations with logarithms and shit for all you math heads, because I don't remember anything about my AP calculus courses, let alone basic math. But it's Indiana's pick. I'm still waiting for that pocket pick. I feel like at this point, I feel like it's okay to talk about it. Like, so something silly is going to happen if we get to see Force Mod 2. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
something very silly is going to happen.
I think that just tells everything we need to know about the store. Unique being
no, not unique.
Oh, okay then. Interesting, and we do see the Force Mod 2.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. What are we in for here, Liliana? Are we going to be waiting until we see them load in?
That's what we're in for.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but I do want to see what we're in for on the mods, of course. On the other side, Vona should be quite comfortable on either the hidden or the easy, I would think. I don't think he's really the type of player to go easy hidden. On that C team, it wasn't really ever him taking it. It was more so Boombox on the easy hidden back in 5WC earlier this year on the C team. So I do think it will just be on the hidden, Firegen probably on the hard rock alongside Mikeyum. There's been some discussion on which mod is favored on this map. Is it the... And I'm going to interrupt myself as I don't see Unique in the lobby. Oh,
there might
God.
be a reason for that. Potentially. Hold on. I think JT
I see one other very proficient easy player in the lobby. And I do think I've been seeing some certain activity from Super Alv recently on some funny mod combinations.
So the cat is out of the bag. Yeah, Super Elf has been sending me screenshots of some really disgusting scores with Easy. So
With
I'm
Easy.
very excited to see what happens here. Yes.
Okay, not Easy hidden, unfortunately.
No, just Easy.
We have already seen an Easy FC on this map this weekend. It's already been done before, so a little bit more disappointed, but still already fun to see. Although Super Alf, if he does FC on Easy, he will be just the second to do it this weekend, not the first. Unfortunately, his Thunder has already been stolen. Sucks to play later on in the weekend. Gotta strike first if you want the aura.
True.
But yeah, still, regardless, of course, I am only jesting. And yes, that is an easy mod for Super Alf. Looking at some of the other mod combinations, we do have GT Cantwell on the hidden Hard Rock to match the Hard Rock of Mikey M. Another bubble on the hidden to match Firegen, and there's Vona also on the hidden against Super Alf's easy mod. Easy multiplier of 2.1, I believe it was, so should be just about matching the hidden, especially after you account for the potential accuracy differences between the two mods.
It's not in the overlay, is it? I don't believe it is calculated into the overlay.
I do think it is. I'm pretty sure.
No, because on the easy one it wasn't.
I believe
that's
for
because
Force Mod it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. Force Mod is calculated. All right.
Yeah, because everyone's working on the same base scores and multipliers for easy one. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Streamer, for chiming in with that one. And Super Alf already finding some early breaks in this one, but we've seen a lot of breaks from everyone, actually. Just Vona and Bubble holding on to some combos at the moment and into the back half of this TI. And that will result in a small lead for Indiana as Super Alf finally managed to find his footing. Firegen and Mikey M still struggling. And JT also with a nice recovery on the hidden Hard Rock here. I do want to take a moment to speak about the hidden Hard Rock, as even on AR10, this map is quite dense. You wouldn't really think it just looking at the BPM, but just some of the overlaps and how the timing lines up for them, it is denser than what you would expect. And even on the AR10 Hard Rock, a little bit difficult to parse out some of the patterns, some of the overlaps. So hidden Hard Rock making quite a bit of sense as a preference mod. Now we do go into the final TI of the map here. Vona still matching the hidden recovery of the bubble, but Super Alf, I mean, he did have quite a nice combo, and that was a lot of work put in to create this 250,000 score lead. JT right behind him to pick up the pieces, and yeah, this lead will continue to go into Indiana's favor all the way into the dying breaths of this map, and pocket pick working out for the Hoosiers.
Oh God, that hurt. Don't say that. That's so painful. That's like saying like New Jersey or New York.
Oh, is it really? I actually didn't know that.
It's painful. but it's okay. It's okay to do it in jest. That is going to be the point for Indiana. I'm not sure why the point went towards Florida there.
But that actually is the correct term for people from Indiana, right?
Hoosier, like
oh,
with
Hoosier.
a Z.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Like
for
it's
my
not
poor
spelled with a Z. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not spelled with a Z, but you pronounce it like a Z.
Okay. Today I have learned. You have learned me an important lesson.
It's all good.
But yeah, it's going to be just under 500,000 score from Super Alf after the easy multiplier, and some really strong scores overall from Indiana on that map.
True. I mean, decent scores all around the board here. We'll see where Florida wants to go for their next pick. I'm really not sure. They've kind of been all around the world here. We've seen them go into the no mod twice, the double time once, the force mod for more tapping, but like what's left if you want tapping here for Florida, where that is kind of where they found their footing in this match so far.
I mean, I think it's about time they go away from the tapping. There's not really a lot left. I mean, I do think they still have the
There's Hard Rock
DT1.
2, right? Hard Rock 2 is available. There's some,
really
tapping to it. There's a little. A small amount.
I would not want to go into hard. I mean, they did win on the aim mechanics, which is, or the quote-unquote aim adjacent mechanics of Nomad 3, which is why I am really favoring a DT1 pick here. Also, maybe a Nomad 1 or Hard Rock 1. But Hard Rock 1, I mean, JT on Hard Rock, a little scary. Especially with how difficult that map is. It's definitely a map that he could pop off on and sort of take over the lobby.
Oh, wait. Wait, is it actually just no tapping at all?
There's like some 5-note bursts on that, and that's it.
Okay, dude.
DT1 and Nomad 1 both getting picked.
Wait a minute.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
The first one in chat was DT. Never mind. Aw, dang. I was wrong. Two different
Tried
maps.
to pre-fire the pick. What is he not in VC with his captain? I mean, I guess Rona doesn't talk in VC, but
no.
Yeah.
They might have been. Okay.
Oh my, what is
Fesco?
going on?
Fesco?
Fesco.
Alright, we're gonna get Fesco
Alright.
for this one. We're sliming up Fesco in the.
What is
street.
he doing? Just messing with both his captain and the ref.
No, it's Nomad 1. It's uncontrollable. It's aim. It's aim consistency. There is consistency to it, but it's got a lot of just big jumps. There's a solo section that if you're not ready for it, you either have potential to miss entirely or just hit like so many 50s and 100s. It goes into like a 1/3 stream just out of the blue. And I was not ready for that during playtesting, and on my sight read with the full combo, it was really bad on that stream. So the difficulty of the map is not that stream. Like, you can drop a lot of accuracy. However, the difficulty of the map is the aim. You've got big cross screen jumps. You know, you've got some larger jumps as well. Not necessarily cross screens, but it is a Nomad 1.
Yeah,
real nitty gritty with it.
Nomad 1, the map, some 210 BPM, some pretty high spacing in some parts actually. Not quite cross-screen spam like we saw last week, but the spacing does get quite big in some places. And yeah, we actually have not seen basically anyone break on the 1/3 section, and most players have hit it quite cleanly in terms of the yak. Not really seen it impact the outcome too much. Of course, when you do have 4 minutes of aim consistency, aim will usually be the deciding factor on the map's results, and that is what we have seen so far. Throughout the weekend, Florida going to try and continue that trend with some superior aim. It's going to be Vona, Firegen, and Fesco. Interestingly, no Equivocator. And
Equivocator indeed, yeah. But these are the players in the lobby potentially. Hello, bro. Hi. What's happening?
Hello. Hi.
What's happening?
Hello. Oh, so
I think everybody. Okay, so everyone must have been readied up, actually, probably.
Oh, and then Fesco
We're
unreadied.
chilling.
Okay. Understandable. All right, and of course for Indiana we do have JT Unique, and interestingly enough, no Super Alv, no Bubble. It is for to say the longest tenured player on Indiana A team. Yes,
True.
even longer than JT Cantwell.
Every single year for 5USC.
I just love that fact so much. You know, you just think Indiana equals this man JT, but it's not. It doesn't equal him. Fortisay's been there longer. Fortisay's been there more times. Unfortunately, that won't matter in the map performances. He will be the first to miss, alongside Unique quickly following him up. So a little bit of turbulence.
Is this first map?
I think it is. It is this, yeah, because usually coming in for some of the tapping fills and the tapping fills and some of the Hard Rock mechanics, the Hard Rock 1 is what I usually seem in for, especially even thinking back to last year. So interesting to see him fill in for the Nomad 1 as well. But we'll be settling into things finally as we approach that first KI section. Everyone on Florida still holding. But here we go. This is the difficulty uptick that you get in every single Nomad 1. We are in the course of the song and spacing the jump chains. You see it pick up. There goes Fesco. There goes Vona. There goes Fortise. So JT and Farjan in a 1v1 with a really good supporting combo from Unique. And that score will start to dwindle towards the side of Indiana. Here we go, big 1-2 spam pattern. JT Cantwell and Farjan both to hold, as will Unique. So a little bit of free combo to pick up here as they should look to shave down the rest of that score lead of Florida.
Yeah, no, this is already on a knife's edge here for both sides, but just slight advantage for Indiana off of the recovery here from Unique. Still, though, plenty of map left to be had. We've got half of it remaining. And again, that solo section does pick up difficulty quite a bit as well. Big jump pattern going into the next KI section, and nobody going to be dropping on that. So that is going to maintain the score lead for Indiana for the time being. But there are still these bigger jumps, Fortise going to be dropping combo. No trades to be seen on the side of Florida, so that is going to put a little bit of a stop to the score lead. But just for a moment, it will continue to go forward here on the side of Indiana as both Unique and JT Cantwell hold on to the combos. Here's another big jump section before we get into that solo. Fesco going to be dropping on the recovery, and now we are getting into the solo.
Yeah, unfortunately, slipping up on the back and forth. Haven't seen a lot of players break there so far, so a little bit unfortunate for him, and you will find another miss go right before the 1/3, but here we go. It looks like everyone has started off nicely. Just the tiniest of act drops from Fesco once again, but spacing will pick up, but actually Fesco finding some more breaks in this 1/3s, not doing so great for Ware, but we are out of the woods with that one into some more jumps and a bit of a build-up of 1-2s. It's going to be Fortise to go down, and Fesco trades, but the big combos still hold. JT and Firegen on the FCs, Unique on a reverse choke, and it's Vona to try and build a recovery to keep Florida in the game. But right now, 150,000 score going into the last, not even 1/4. This is like a 5th or 6th left of this map remaining. And Indiana are looking very close to closing this one out.
This is going to be the point here for Indiana. Florida's pick not working out in their favor this time around. They'd won their previous 3 picks, but this one not going to be the case, unfortunately. And Indiana now match point here. This is a loser's bracket as well, Bless. So one of these teams will be exiting the tournament. Indiana with the next pick as well. This is tough for Florida. They have to win the next Indiana pick, and they also have to win on their own pick after that. So in order to take it to tiebreaker would be crazy here for these two teams. But right now it's Indiana in the driver's seat, and this is scary for Florida.
Yeah, some weaker supporting combos. A little bit of unfortunate early break for Vona as well. That does mean Indiana take the first break point in a while here, Liliana. We've seen a lot of points go back and forth ever since the early little scuffle that these two teams went through. But finally, on the Nomad Gamble aim pick, we will see another break point as Florida.
Do we have a map full screen by any chance? I'm curious what the available maps are.
So I think we're all out of the Nomads. The hidden one is still up. There is still the Hard Rock 1 and Hard Rock 2.
Oh,
And
come
the
on! It's
GT1 and
gotta be the Hard
GT4.
Rock one, please, bro. Let's get some Hobbs Hard Rock in here. It's Glass Beat, like everybody wants it, bro. Everybody wants the Hard Rock one. Please put Hard Rock one.
I do think it would be a pretty good pick, especially after winning the No Mod 1. It's some more big spacing, aim consistency, and it's arguably even more consistency requirement than the No Mod 1. The high spacing just does not let up throughout basically the entire map. There's no downtime like we saw in the No Mod 1 in the Versus. And of course, you do have JT so comfortable on the mod. Even for to say,
I know.
the map that he has historically...
Do I go influence the pick? Or is that is that too much? That might be too much.
I think that's a little bit too much. You might get Sky yelling at you later.
Alright, I will not be doing that.
Yeah.
How do
Sky
I get so
might
many ads
have some
as
choice
a
words for you
mod?
after the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing that. But that would be funny. That would be.
I mean, I do
humor.
think, you know, we can say stuff on the broadcast to
You're right.
try and influence
Hey,
the decision.
to anybody listening, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying it'd be really cool if we picked the Hard Rock one. That's all. For no other reason than it's just a good map. It's a good song made by a good person. Our lovely Hobbs too.
I mean, even on top of, even setting all of that aside, I do think it is a good pick for Indiana, given just what happened on the No Mod 1. I don't want to go for the DT1. I do still think that's a little bit Florida favored just due to the high BPM of it. And some of the Indiana players, JT and Bubble, probably not super comfortable on that BPM. So, yeah, Hard Rock 1 looking like a good pick. The hidden one, like they did win both the other hiddens so far, but that is just some awkward aim mechanics. Quite different from the other two hiddens. I don't think that's where they would want to go, even given what just happened on the No Mod 1. I do think Hard Rock 1 will just be more comfortable for their roster. There is the DT4 as well, some high AR DT alt, but it is 165 BPM, barely within the confines of normal alt BPMs, you could call it. Maybe it's still definitely a little bit on the high end, but no, it is going to be that Hard Rock 1. And regardless of if your team listened to your prayers or not, you will be rejoicing, and you will enjoy it.
Song is so good. I'm just vibing. I'm just sitting here vibing to the No Mod 1 still. Yes, yes. I promise I did not influence anything. It was not me. I stayed at the VC the whole time. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, if players want to listen in to the stream while they play the match, that is their prerogative. You know, sometimes they can glean some information, some insights from the casters that they might not know. Although I would certainly hope the players have done their research. At the very least, the captain.
Oh, they know
has
they know
done
the map. They
research.
know the map.
Yeah.
This is an Indiana pick regardless. Like, it's 4 minutes 40 seconds, Hard Rock aim.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool map, dude. It's such a great map. I think Hobbs killed it with this one.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on that one. Very good map. Hobbs aim. Even received a comment from my state's resident mapper, Cytazine. It's a pretty good map, I believe, is what he said. So when you get the stamp of approval from Cytazine, you know it's a good map.
Am I cooked?
What's that?
We'll have to have an internal investigation, Icania says. Gulp.
I mean, that guy's from Connecticut. I don't know if you can. I don't know if they'll be the most partial.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what it says. What it says it is.
That's messed up. Okay, well, you know what? I have in other talks with people outside of Osu, I have called Connecticut just a big highway. Connecting two real states together. I'm sorry, Connecticcut. You guys are so cool. I love you all. But
what's
like,
the other?
what's
What's the other quote unquote real state they're connecting? Because they're bordering like I'm
I
blanking on
don't
my New
even
England
know,
geography
man.
right now.
I don't
I
even
thought they're bordering
know.
like New York and Rhode Island and like Vermont and New Hampshire and all that.
But I'm sure it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I would
I know
love to
Mouse
visit
Supremacy is gonna be
sometime.
yelling at me later for that one.
Gulp. We've got Hard Rock 1! This map's
Yeah.
aim. We talked about it a lot, but there are some really uncomfortable slowed down aim patterns at the like end half of the map.
Yeah, the
where you can
1/3.
drop a lot of accuracy.
Yeah, and I will point out Indiana after that break point on the aim on match point and picking another aim map that is in theory even better for them than the last. And who else but JT, other bubble, and their Hard Rock 1. I want to say specialist, but more realistically it is a Phil Fortese. And the other side, you're looking at Vona, Fesco, and FireGen. Not the three who you would expect for Hard Rock aim. And Indiana, we haven't really talked about the stakes that much, but let me remind you guys about what is at stake. Indiana, if they win this, they will tie their highest ever placement in 5USC, that being last year, the second round of losers semis, 7th to 8th. And Florida on a bid to reach their highest placement ever, never winning their first round semifinals match. Always falling at the stage. But here we go into the Ki, and right out of the slow intro, it's JT can't hold the break, but there goes a double break from Fesco and Vona. It's just FireGen to hold the FC, but there he goes too on a miss aim, and other bubble standing lone, standing tall, standing strong as we are already halfway through this Hard Rock 1. Not a lot of combos on the board. There he goes down as well, but already created about a 60,000 score lead for his team in the second half, and this map will not let up from now. As I'm not sure entirely what's going on with our feed here. Looks to have frozen.
Wait, what's happening? What? I think you might be lagging out. No, the map is still going. It is perfectly
Okay.
fine here. Is still just misses across the board. Nobody quite able to hold onto the combo here. A lot of drops. It was a full reset from everybody, but now the recoveries are starting to build back up for Fortese and Vona. These are those big, uncomfortable jumps that slow down. Fortese going to be dropping that combo. Vona still holding on, so now 110,000 points, looking a lot easier to bring back over, but there's no combo on the side of Indiana. More misses coming through from Fortese. Bubble is still going to keep things going the direction of Florida so long as Vona continues to hold on to the combo here. 74,000 points, and it is definitely doable. These patterns continue to take out players on Indiana. There's build up on JT Cantwell, FireGen, Fesco going to be dropping, and there goes Bubble. Now we get the intensity part of the map again, as it's still holding on to the combo. 63,000 points. It's slowly closing in for Florida, but is there enough time? Vona has to continue to hold on to the combo, but JT Cantwell is doing his best to match it. Fortese now on a little bit of recovery, does drop the combo. There goes Bubble, and now it is going to be traded out from Fesco and FireGen. 33,000 points is doable. JT Cantwell drops, and that is going to be the score going over the way of Florida very quickly. 4,000, 2,000, 1,000 switches over towards Florida. Vona continuing to hold on to the combo as we come into the very ending of the map. There's still time if Vona misses, and there is the miss. Hold on, is it time? But it's not enough. 11,000 points, 12,000 points is going to be the score differential here. Florida do get the break point, and now they get the final pick of the match.
Oh my goodness, what a nail biter down to the last moments. Vona holding on for so long, and JT being so close. The accuracy actually doing so much work for him despite having half of Vona's max combo. But my goodness. Vona with 700 combo into the ending, barely managing to pull things back on Indiana's even more favored pick than the previous one. The no mod aim going the way of Indiana, but you turn the Hard Rock mod on, you think it's better for Indiana than before, and Florida manages to steal it away by the skin of their teeth.
I mean, it's just a very tough map to combo on, unfortunately, especially when nerves are high. You add that Hard Rock on, and you've got a little bit smaller of the circles. I think it's It's only CS 5.1 with the Hard Rock, but still, like, that is enough, especially with the awkward aim, that it can take toll on your combos. And I mean, 10,000 points basically between the two teams. Like, Vona had to hold for as long as they did. If they missed even like 10 notes earlier, I think that actually does swing back the direction of Indiana. So that was insanely close. I still think that was a great pick for Indiana, but just the fact is, did not work in their favor. And now we get the second timeout of the match. I mean, this is important. This losers bracket. You lose your pick here, Indiana moves forward, you're knocked out of the tournament. You win your pick here, you have to do tiebreaker. But you need to win your pick to go to tiebreaker. And that, for Florida, that's the only way Florida can win at this point. They have to win through tiebreaker.
Yeah, and this pick is so important. They only have one left, and they need to make it count. One pick to take them to the limit. The aim picks looking like quite the toss-up here. I do think DT4 might be under consideration for them at the moment. Of course, still looking at the DT1. I don't think they want to go into the Hard Rock 2, as that is still favored in theory for Indiana, despite Florida's success just now on the Hard Rock 1. Quite a bit of a low roll from JT as well, having 3 970k plays on that on his locals. And only getting half of that in lobby. So Florida will take some important time to discuss internally, figure out how they want to make their final move of the match, and also maybe take some time to calm the nerves, as that Hard Rock 1 was incredibly close. And of course, one map left with their tournament lives on the line. Sure, the tensions are high in the VC right now. For the rest of us, we do just have to sit and wait for a little bit.
Nerves have to be through the roof, bless. For both sides. I mean, like, heck, even for Indiana to lose on that point, like, they definitely underperformed, I feel like. You know, as you see it in chat, but like the underperformance isn't necessarily just from, aw man, I just missed. It's like, ah shoot, I wasn't able to control my nerves because, like, dang, this match is close. Dang, these players are scary strong. And yeah, just like knowing that you are on a knife's edge here from winning. You only need one more point to win, sure, but like getting that point, you still have to lock in. And here for the final pick of this match, the final pick before potential tiebreaker if Florida wins it, DT1.
Yep, just going down the rest of the ones. Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1. Now DT1, these aim maps have gone back and forth each way. Only breakpoints so far on the 3 aim maps. Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1. Or on the 2 aim maps, and now we go into the third, DT1. 272 BPM. And that is going to be incredibly dense when you look at the AR. Only 10.1. Usually you see something like 10.3, even 10.5 when the BPM gets this high. Of course, not going to have 10.5 in a tournament like this, especially at this stage. It's only semifinals. So this is going to be some quite dense aim on the DT, as well as perhaps a little bit of a BPM challenge. We did see, of course, the DT3 ban at the start of the match from Indiana, and GT, another bubble, not the most comfortable when the BPM goes this high, when it goes above 240. We've seen it in some of the other maps as well, some in their matches prior. But despite that, we will see them enter the lobby. The third man being Super Alvin. He will have to go super mode if he wants Indiana to close things out here, not let things go to tiebreaker. Florida gonna be placing their bets not on the captain Vona, but instead it will be Equivocator, Mikey M, and Fesco to try and keep their tournament hopes alive. We do have the GLS chips in the chat, and we'll be beginning shortly.
Oh goodness, somebody ran. Somebody, I can't even stop. Okay, it's all right. Anyway, we've got DT1. It's the final pick of the match, and we've hyped it up enough. I feel like time to go into this map before potential for a tiebreaker. think a lot of people would like to see the tiebreaker here, but it's going to come down to Florida. They have to perform in order to secure it. So Mikey M, Randy Orton, Fesco going to be the lineup here. No Vona, the player that we have come to expect to be this carrying force here for Florida throughout so much of the map, but just not a Vona map for them. And so they are going to have to rely on the rest of their teammates who have stepped up, who can perform. Here for Indiana, you've got JT Cantwell, Alp, and Bubble going to be the lineup for them. And already, just off the very early goings, I was going to say it's a pretty significant accuracy advantage. Make that a combo advantage now, with Bubble going to be the only player to find the first miss here. 1/3 of the way through, and now in the second miss going to come through from Super Alp. Will finally get traded out by Fesco, but that's 2 FCs to 1 right now in favor of Florida.
Yeah, and you are talking about those accuracies. Not a single player below 96 on Florida. Meanwhile, JT, the only player with good accuracy for Indiana at 98%. Bubble and Super Alf both down in the dumps a little bit. 95 for Super Alf and 94 just barely now for Bubble. But of course, the combos are the big story of this map at the moment. Mikey M and Equivocator holding on to a lot to their FCs, matched by JT as we go into the second Ki. The jumps are so fast, and JT finally goes down. The strain on his aim too much at this BPM, and 400k is the lead for Florida. We've talked about this pick throughout this match a lot, and I mean, I think we're finally seeing why I thought this was such a good pick for them. Mikey M and Equivocator so strong at the moment. We finally go into a break right before the ending of the map, and it does look like we will be going towards that tiebreaker without a hitch. Liliana, Equivocator will find some drops into the ending, but Mikey M is there to close things out. Into the ending, these drops don't matter. The score lead is 800,000 in the favor of Florida, and I mean, what a way to close out regulation here.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a wonderful match here. We get the ping coming through. A 1 p.m. match on a Sunday. These guys just making it out of church. No, I don't know what's happening. But it's 1 p.m. It's now 2:36. But it was a 1 p.m. match, and we're going to tiebreaker here in the semifinals between these two monster states. Indiana, seed 9 versus seed 7 Florida, and one of them is going to be leaving the tournament here after this tiebreaker, and that is going to be everything here for both these teams. You mentioned it already. Indiana wins this, they will have tied their highest placement ever in 5USC. If Florida wins this, it will be their best placement ever in 5USC. So either way is going to be some pretty big things happening for both sides. But here we go. It's Arcadia, it's Aerialize, and it's a banger, and no more timeouts available either. Both teams used up their timeouts for those final 2 picks. So actually, we're going to be getting this one going pretty quickly.
Yeah, no time to collect yourselves, no time to calm the nerves. We are just getting right into this. It is 5 minutes and 18 seconds of some Nomad mechanics consistency, 200 BPM, very standard stats of CS 4.0, AR 9.6, and OD 9. Sitting just under 7 stars after the rework. Gonna be a little bit of spacing, some pretty standard slider shapes, and a little bit of interesting burst cuts as well.
Please speed, I need this.
We do have a guest stepping into the booth. Not sure what this is, what's going on here.
Please speed, I need this.
Wait, what are you asking? I cannot hear you.
I need this, bro.
For what?
I need this, bro.
And we just have all the invaders coming in.
We need this.
What is happening? What is going on?
I don't know. Security, get them out of here.
Security!
Thank you.
Security! I don't know what's going on here.
And just a quick note from admin here, if you don't mind. If Florida wins, the next match is going to be in like 15 minutes for them against Virginia A. If Indiana wins, they have an hour and 15 minutes.
We are being informed that if Florida wins, then the match is happening immediately. Oh wait, no. Oh, you can talk. Oh, they hear you. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
They can,
Sweet.
they can
I was
hear
gonna
it.
recap
Yeah.
what you said. I'm so used to the streamers being like, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys something, and now you have to relay it.
Yeah, they're just being production whispering in our ears, you know?
It's okay.
get
That
that.
was the voice of God.
Yeah. Really a god here,
Blessed
Lord and
with
Savior
information.
Rithujin saving the broadcast from disaster this morning. Not a lot of people awake on a Sunday morning to stream an OC tournament, unfortunately, but of course he is there to step in and save us as Indiana gonna be maybe needing a little bit of saving here, and it looks like we have Unique in for an
Is it
easy
actually
on this.
easy? Are we serious? I mean, like, sure, man. If real if true, ads on
Big
the
if
Twitch.
factual,
Ads on the Twitch.
ads on the
It's
Twitch as we get started.
It's real. It's real. It's real.
It's real.
It's real. It's real. It's real.
And not just that, it's a hidden mod for other bubble as well. A preference hidden.
What? What is happening? What is the multiplier? Who knows the
2.0.
multipliers?
It's 2.0.
2.x multiplier here for Unique. What is going on?
An easy mod on Tiebreaker.
I'm at a loss for
And
words.
this is for all the marbles. This is not a show match. This is not a drill. Unique has taken the easy mod on Tiebreaker in match.
What is happening?
I repeat, this is not a drill.
Okay. All right, everybody calm down. It's 5 minutes, 20 seconds of consistency here, okay? So, all things considered, easy. For a player like Unique, this is just a walk in the park. However, you still have to lock in. Everybody has to lock in here. Both teams' tournament lives on the line as we are making our way through the map. Nothing too difficult so far has occurred just yet, but these players, the nerves are high. We saw shakes happening in the previous two maps. We saw some pretty unfortunate scores coming through from some of the players. It was insanely close on Indiana's final pick, so the nerves have to be pretty rough for them, and we do have a couple of bigger jumps there. Nobody to drop just yet, but that's going to be Bubble on the comfort hidden, going to be finding the first break of the map before we get into this KI section here, and still no trades to happen. This is Florida holding on to the score advantage.
Yep. Gonna be Vona and a couple of their mechanics all-rounders. Who else but Equivocator and FireGen to try and close things out for them on this comeback, as they do hold very nice accuracy here and combo. But there goes Equivocator, the first to fall for Florida. And although they did have a little bit of time to try and pull things in their advantage, things will come to a standstill, but not for long, as there goes Vona as well. JT and Unique still to hold the score lead. Will flip back in favor of Indiana as FireGen, the lone FC at the moment. And I will say this easy mod does make some good sense with the bigger circles. Some of these patterns, the cuts on them do get a little bit spaced, and the bigger circle size can make the difference in making them just that much more cheesable. But of course, on the other side, you do have to deal with the increased reading difficulty, and there goes Unique on the triangle jumps, the wide angles.
But it's traded. It's traded from FireGen and Randy Orton, and Vona's down at that 200 combo. This is a JT Cantwell show now for Indiana.
Yes, so some good news for them, as I mean, he's not the longest tenured player on the team, but he's definitely the most well-known. The face of Indiana, the face of the state, despite what we say about his tenure length. And he will be the one, he will be the driving force for his state into the back half of this map, creating already 150,000 score lead. But there he goes, dropping a
What's that? What is it doing? It's okay. Kind of. Not really, actually. Florida has 500 combo on Vona. FireGen is matching Unique's combo right now. So that score lead is going to slowly go the way of Florida. And we saw what happened when Vona was given a runway on that Hard Rock 1, able to hold on to the combo there. And so now this could be potential for disaster for Indiana. They have to lock in. They can stop the score, but that's Unique dropping the combo. They're about 400, and that was the only combo that was really holding back Florida from swinging the score line quickly. So now this is really bad for Indiana. They need to hold. They need to hope for some more misses to come through from Florida, but 100,000 points is dwindling very quickly over towards the way of Florida.
Yeah, and just one last reminder of the stakes. Indiana arguably having an upgrade on their roster, replacing Shrek Farm, one of their DT high AR mechanics players.
Oh, wait a
Unique
minute.
for reading, but there's a full collapse on side. But there's
It's not Firegen. It's Firegen. Firegen has to hold for Florida. They can bring it back.
50,000. 60,000 is the number. JT on the recovery to try and hold off, and there goes JT, and it's all on Firegen here. 50,000 score is what he has to pull back in this ending. He has to hold on. There is nothing on the side of Indiana. The defenses are down. The shields have been canceled. The security cameras are turned off. It is Firegen with a free hand to play, and the score lead is 5,000, 4,000, 3, 2, 1, 0. It is all in Florida's hands. Into the side. There's nothing left to break on.
There's
here.
no time. Florida's stealing from Indiana. The clutch of victory here for Indiana. They are going to lose the last pick of the match by 10,000 points. They're going to lose this pick here by 20,000 points. Firegen gets it done for Florida. They bring it home. Florida making it forward in the semifinals losers bracket for one more match for their best placement ever. And Indiana not able to get it done. A tragedy for their team, but still such an incredible performance.
My goodness. What is there to say about that one?
I mean, that's heartbreaking for Indiana. That is incredibly
Indiana.
heartbreaking. But I mean, Florida
The Floridians surely
deserved
elated.
that.
Surely
Florida-
elation in the Florida camp right now, as those are your victors this morning, moving on to the second round of semifinals and their best placing ever. Of course, having to play again against Virginia A, just 15 minutes for now. And on the other side for Indiana, making a roster move, taking out the high AR mechanics of Shrek Farm and putting in the open rank reading of Unique, but unable to match their placing from last year, unable to make it as far, and falling here in the first stage, the semifinals, for a 9th to 12th place finish. And we'll be sending some commiserations to them. But for now, it's flowers to Florida, but of course can't rest for too long, as they do have another match in 15 minutes. Gotta shake off those nerves, gotta get ready to go through it all again.
What a crazy time for Florida here. They had to schedule it like this too. Who is their match against?
It is Virginia A, and they might be missing Chlorofor again. They're
yes, they would be,
Yeah.
because they are in Oregon, from what I read in the chat. So
Okay.
it's gonna be another tough battle, but yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Congratulations, Florida, for winning that match. But don't go anywhere. We've got more matches for you starting here in about 13 minutes.
Yep, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, guys.